Hello, good people, and thank you for joining me here today. My name is Michael Marks. I am a writer, director, producer of motion pictures. I am also an author, and I come here today to, and I want to give a shout out to Spike Lee. I want to thank you, Spike Lee, for the good work that you've done. Now, I'll go into that a little more. Let me just, in case you want to reach out to me, in case feel compelled, I am at Marks 4378 at AOL.com. That is MARKS 4378 at AOL.com. Okay, with that being said, I want to just I just felt I felt in my heart to talk about the movie Malcolm X. That's my favorite movie of all time. Everybody that knows me knows that, and I just want to. That movie was just so moving to me. It was 3 hours, I recall, maybe 3 hours and some change, but loved every minute of it. Denzel always absolutely otherworldly in his performance, and he's pretty much that way in everything that he does. Class A, just that's what he does. I mean, he's just a man of excellence, and and that's to be admired about him. So yeah, Malcolm X. I love the artistry in that movie. I read the book years ago by Alex Haley. Loved it. Loved Spike Lee's movie. Although I think a good movie doesn't. The aim is not to follow a. I mean, it's impossible to follow a book. You know, as it's written. A book, as a book is written, a book allows the mind to roam. You know, when you read, your mind roams. With a movie, you have 2 hours, essentially. You know, give or take, 2 hours to tell your story, and you don't have all day to meander and all that other stuff. So, can you tell your story in 2 hours, give or take? And I just want to thank Spike Lee, for the work, his body of work. He's done so much. The Malcolm X is just my favorite. It doesn't mean that I don't like the others. I like a lot of what he's done, and I think it's just my duty to, as one filmmaker to the next, to say thank you for the work that you've done, and that and you've helped inspire me and push me in this direction. I remember from high school or in early years of college, it's just great memories and stuff. And the music, I can't. Uh, we have to talk about his music. Talk about the music, and I mean his music. Just Stevie Wonder. I know he's a big proponent of Stevie Wonder, and Stevie Wonder is brilliant. Love his music, and I like the fact that he seems to, or like, to, at least in a lot of his films, use Stevie Wonder's music. But we can't forget about his Spike, your own father, Bill Lee. Love the music. I mean, Mo Better Blues. Mo Better Blues is another one of my favorites with Denzel again, Washington. I know Ruth Carter did the costume design for that. I actually worked with Ruth Carter on the movie Rosewood, John Singleton's Rosewood, and she's phenomenal in her work. And I learned a lot from that lady when I worked on the set of Rosewood. So I want to thank you, Ruth Carter, for what you've done to your professionalism and your willingness to guide me and everybody on that movie set of Rosewood. This is a bit of a digression, but I had a lot of good people help me when I was there at the tender age of 23 years old. Um, I recall even as vividly John Singleton being a fan of Zora Neale Hurston, just like me. I remember I was sitting down reading a book in a production office, and he saw me reading the book, and he said, he saw me, it was a Zora Neale Hurston book. I believe it was Dust Tracks on the Road, her autobiography. And he said, oh no, it was her short stories. That's what it was. It was a book of her short stories. And John said, oh, have you read The Gilded Six Bits? And I said, yeah, I actually have. And he said, oh, and we had like a brief chat about that. But I was surprised that, here's his director, as reading books. I'm going on a bit of a digression, but speaking of which, when I was on the production of Rosewood, I knew I learned at that age even there was a correlation of reading and success. There's a correlation between that I drew, meaning that I noticed that it seemed like the people that were really at the top of the food chain, I saw them with books in their hands, including John Singleton. But that was, again, this is a bit of a digression. I'm going to get back to Spike Lee, and although I never met Spike and I've never been on a movie set, it'd be an honor to meet him. But yeah, the music is Bill Lee, his father produced. It's wonderful, and the thing that Spike and I have in common is that both. I have a father. That's. I come from a musical family myself. My father, Richard Marks, now was a band leader and guitarist, owned a mechanic shop by day, but by night would grind and do his love of music. And I have a book that I want to share. It was a thin book, but my brother Terrence worked with a guy by the name of Ethan. Ethan is, I forget what country he's from, but he's somewhere in Europe. I don't know. He somehow came across my father's music. He's like a funk disco music collection guy, and he and my brother put this together. I don't know if you can see the resemblance. Richard Marx, don't you love the title? Never Satisfied, Never Satisfied. Legendary soul and funk singles from Atlanta guitarist, singer, songwriter, Richard Marx. That's my father, from 1968 to 1976. Here it is. There it is, right there. Yeah, so I just want to share some more pictures. It's my father right here. Right here. My mother and father were married about over 40 years before he passed away of lung cancer. And I think it was somewhere around 2004. Miss him dearly. Learned a lot from him. His work ethic was absolutely unparalleled. Here's, I want to share some pictures in this book. You'll notice here. I'll start off, this is my sister. My father holding my sister Tanya Marks. Now over here at the top, that's my mother's handwriting. That's me, Michael Marks. My father holding me, and then here at the bottom, my brother, Terrence Marks. And here's a little bit, here's one of his LPs. Did you ever lose something? Huh. That's my father. Did you ever lose something? Okay, so, yeah, so that's what we have in common, Spike. My father's musicians. I come from a musical family. My brother's a singer, and he actually sang in a film that I made, Angel of Hate, a 47-minute film about a teen male that was born out of a rape and his search for his biological mother. You can find that on YouTube. Angel of Hate is the title of that. Angel of Hate. My brother's music, he has. I'd like for you to catch the music. He has something in a scene that he does. His music is over a scene, but was particularly compelling and moving was his music at the end of the movie, the credit rolls, the credit roll. And the reason why I say that, I'll never forget my when I had a screening at Raleigh Studios some years ago. Um, I remember the room went dark, and the credits started to roll, and I just remember as his voice, and my brother has a voice, a gift from God, and I'm pushing him to continue to use it. And I'm going to definitely utilize him on my next project, my movie project, which is why I'm here too today. I'm going to talk about that later. I have a upcoming movie project that I'm absolutely needing help and financing and backing for. But yeah, my brother's music at the end of. So if you get through that music, sit until you get to the end where the credits roll, because that's where my brother's music is, and that's when I remember in Raleigh Studios that day hearing the sniffles and the crying, and as my brother, because his music is so packed, the story was already so passionate, and I mean so moving and so intense, and then you had his music that just covered everything. It just was like the icing on the cake, so to speak. So again, a musical family. My brother, not my brother, my mother. My mother was sang a little bit too, and she has a few stories that she would tell us about her experience singing. So again, I just say that I come from a musical family. I know Spike's father, Billy, musician, wonderful music, and and I just say about New Yorkers, you know what, I like New Yorkers. I respect the fact that they're. I've been to New York, and they're just straight shooters. Just straight shooters, no BS artists. Just in general, of course, I'm saying. Obviously, you can never say all, but for the most part, just tell it like it is. Tell it like it is, and I can appreciate. I've heard of Spike his way, and I'm the same way. I'm from Atlanta, but I come from the same, cut from the same cloth. Just if you can try not to be abrasive, but you can't. You can't. You can't be too concerned about how someone is gonna take what you say, but just say it as just be direct and be straight about it. And New Yorkers are that way, And I'm in California now. I've been here for some time, 22 years, and I love California. It's a different place. People are a little different. It's more of a, not as straightforward and a kind of smile in your face, stab you in the back type thing. But good. But that's not everybody. Again, a lot of good people here, and they're just more on a covert side than I would say New Yorkers tend to be. But I love California. Again, I have some wonderful friends, wonderful people here, and I see myself moving someday to the ocean. A house with an oceanfront view, and lovely. Can't beat the weather here. So I have to say that's what I have to say about that. So thank you again, Spike, for the work that you've done. And now I'm going to talk to Mr. Jeff Bezo of Amazon. I have some product on your website, Amazon, my essay. Um, the title of it is actually a collection of essays. It's The Vile Aroma of Defeat Overcome by the Sweet Taste of Jubilation. A collection of essays. And so I have my essays on Amazon, and yeah, so look, I'm here. I have a movie project, Mr. Jeff Bezo. If you see fit, to, I don't know, I'm looking for 10 mil $10 million. If you know what I mean. If you have I have content. I'm not looking here. I'm not here for a handout. I have content. I have pretty much everything you probably need in order to assess the situation, assess or whatever you need. Just I'm here. You have people. I'm sure you have people that you probably send out to do the work that you need to be done. And it's just so you. But again, look, I believe in being bold, and I'm being bold, and I'm just saying, um, if you check me out. Not just Mr. Jeff Bezo. I can be reached at Marks 4378 at AOL.com. That's MARKS 4378 at AOL.com. It'd be nice to hear from Mr. Jeff Bezos' people. I mean, Spike, if you have some interest, I have the script, I have the project. The title of it is Disappearance of Deliverance. It's about a man and his desperate search for his missing wife and kids. And I'm looking for some good people, a few good people to collaborate with, a few good people who, maybe just one person, one or a few who want to, they see fit to finance it. So there you have it. I'm on a mission. I'm never satisfied. I'm never satisfied like my dad. And I think that's where we all should be, because it's all about learning. If you're satisfied with where you are and you don't feel that there is anything else that you can learn, there's no contribution that you should or can make, then what are you here for? You know what I mean? Some of the greatest people on the face of the earth, past and present, the mindset is, what can I do more of? How can I contribute more? It's not about being content. It's okay about being content for a set period of time, a short period of time, I would say. But when you make something, like whether that's a movie, music, or even if you go to a job, every day, it's not about yesterday. It's about today. What are you doing today? And this is my today. My today is talking to you or anyone who is out there who wants to listen to me about what I'm doing and my product. And again, I'm at Marks 4378 at AOL.com. I have a website, marksproductions.webs.com. You can see some work there. Amazon, again, The Vile Aroma of Defeat, Overcome by the Sweet Taste of Jubilation. You can catch my work there. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me here today. Thank you. Thank you, Spike Lee, for the good work that you've done. Jeff Bezo, I hope to be hearing from you. All right, thank you. All right, y'all, take care.